in the description below this video here. So anyway, so Vegas is on the power play. They win this face-off, and then St. Louis sets up in their diamond. So we see that St. Louis's F1 is very aggressive at pressuring the point and just forcing the puck out of a shooting position. So Shea Theodore has his puck. He gives it to Jack Eichel on the wing. F1 here is doing a pretty good job. Now, D1. So D1 is the puck side or strong side defenseman. This is Colton Parayko, and he's going to be a very important player here. But so here he is, and he's going to be responsible for, if Eichel tries to walk inside, then Parayko is going to come out to pressure. Here, this is Buchnevich. He's a forward, so he's responsible for the weak side flank most of the time. So he's going to be looking to cut off seam plays and to deny sort of this weak side one-timer that lots of teams like to use. And then finally, we got Ryan Suter here. He's by himself near the net, and he's got a few different responsibilities. So right now we see him boxing out Thomas Hertl, who's the bumper player, but he also has some responsibilities in terms of preventing Mark Stone at the goal line here from walking out. So the real critical thing here is basically St. Louis with their three high players. They're doing a pretty good job of taking away Vegas's sort of high puck movement here. So whether it's this pass here, or this pass here, this is what the diamond is designed to take away. So the solution then for Vegas is to find ways to quickly get this puck high to low. And as soon as Vegas gets this puck high to low, now we see that St. Louis has some problems and some decisions to make. So now we see that Suter has reacted to this threat. Parayko gets turned around, and then Buchnevich gets turned around. And this is because, again, the weakness of the diamond is that we have only essentially this one player here who's around the net on a full-time basis. And if the power play is able to get this puck down to the goal line quickly, and also for that goal line player to be aware of his options, then there's a lot to do there. So here St. Louis does a pretty good job of collapsing right away around Stone. We see that he's a little bit more toward the corner. Obviously he doesn't have a shot option. He doesn't feel comfortable going through Parayko for Hertl, and he doesn't really feel comfortable going through Suter this is Dorofeyev at the back door. So what he does is simply he gives it back to Eichel, he resets. And now Vegas, they know that they're onto something here, so they're going to try it again. So every time as a power play you go high to low, you're giving the PK an opportunity to make some sort of a misread. So here Eichel does a really good job of beating F1's pressure because he knows that pressure is coming quick. He gets this puck high to low again to Stone, and this is where things get really, really interesting. And this is something that, if you're a coach pre-scouting opposing teams, or if you're a player on the bench observing opposing PKs, this is something that you can look for. So, I talked about Parayko recently. So Parayko is the strong side flank player, and he's a right-handed defenseman. Suter he's the net player or the net front D, and he's a left-handed defenseman. So one of the dangers of playing a diamond that power plays can exploit is that the diamond is a asymmetrical defensive structure, which means that there's going to be a side where you have, again, a defenseman protecting the flank, whereas on the other side here, that's a forward. So there's an asymmetry here. And if you can figure out that the puck side player, the puck side flank player is the defenseman, and you bypass him, that means that you're going up against, obviously, still a net front D, but then the backside player is a forward. So these players now, they're really vulnerable because the vast majority of teams, they like to have a lefty and a righty on a D pair, and this is what St. Louis has. But in this situation here, Ryan Suter is the left-handed defenseman who has to protect the net front, which means that if this pass gets made early enough and this goal line player is aware, then this passing lane is entirely open. Like, there's no way that Suter can reach behind him and take away this pass right here because his stick is on the wrong side of his body. So again, Vegas has bypassed Parayko, who's a righty, and now they're attacking Suter, who's a lefty. This pass goes through, and because Dorofeyev has moved down from the flank to the back post, this is pretty much a tap in. He's got half the net, and he scores on that. So this is the first example. Vegas goes down to the goal line. They exploit the asymmetric nature of St. Louis's PK,